everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm joined by my two favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey.
Hello.
And Terry D. Mantis.
Hello.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am well. How you doing, Terry?
Yeah, pretty good.
You're not tired, are you?
I mean, a little bit. I mean,
that's become a meme for our show.
Enough, not enough to comment on. But yeah, I mean, a little.
Yeah, I'm trying an experiment today. I had a soft pretzel before the show. So now we get to worry about whether or not I'm going to be running to the bathroom every 15 minutes because...
If he runs up puking his guts out, now you know what.
You guys just run the show. I don't do anything anyway, so... Anyway.
That makes me feel sad for you, though. Like, oh, it's just a pretzel.
It's weird how... Like, I can't have, like, peanut butter and jelly on white bread. I will get sick, guaranteed, every time. But if I have potato bread, usually I'm okay. And apparently pretzel bread, I don't know what's different about it, but it doesn't seem to bother me at all. So,
well, that's good.
Just finding more things that I'm capable of eating is a good thing because my intake's pretty limited.
Yeah.
I figure it might be most pretzels have believe it or not, the stuff that they use in the yeast that Terry likes on his toast is similar to the yeast that they use on pretzels. It's just something they mix with water and then they put it on before they bake it.
That might be the thing. It might not be that I'm allergic to wheat. I might be or flour. I might be allergic to something else that goes with bread. And that white bread has, and that other types of bread don't have. Maybe it's the type of yeast used, like you're saying.
Could be.
Well, that's just it. Like sometimes it could even be the other thing on it countering it, because like yeast still comes from bread, you're just putting more yeast on the bread that you just made yeast out of.
Yeah.
Assuming you're not using fruit yeast, but yeah, I don't bake bread. I just read recipes and watch other people do it because I don't have a counter. My friend TC does the bread baking, and then he shows me pictures of his loaves, and I'm like, I wish I had your kitchen, man.
I'm assuming you're referring to Top Cat.
No, TC is a buddy I have from England, but I could be talking about Sanguine. Yeah. I don't know that he bakes his own bread, but I should tease him about it. Hi, Sanguine, if you're watching.
I don't think he is. I don't think I've ever seen him in our chat, but if he is, hello.
Hello. Just in case.
Speaking of hello, we should greet chat. So over on Rumble, we've got Kivadan, we've got JB, we've got a lot of scrolling. We've got Tier Alexander, we've got WR Corsten, aka Brior Brias Hastic, and that might be everyone. Let me keep scrolling.
Oops.
Yeah, I think that's everyone. Again, if I missed you, let me know, and I'll say hi to you.
Well, I guess I'll do mine, and I'm glad we waited because for a second there I thought it was going to be two people. But hi, Hammer. Hi, Mykar. Hi, Keeverdam. Hi, Tier. Hi, Costin. Hi, Jack. Oh my goodness, time to stop the stream. And that's it.
Okay. Should we bother going over the topics?
Let's pretend that we'll talk about them.
Well, we can lie and say that we already did because I brought up Game of Thrones mostly because of the dire wolves.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can look at under Resurrected. That is the dire wolf. There's actually 4. I only had 3, and I sent those 3 to you guys. And then as I was getting ready to put the show together, I found a 4th one. So Spike is also in there, which we can get to if we do. But yes, the second topic, Resurrected. It looks like the scientists are at it again. If they're not giving us COVID, they're bringing back dead animals. So I'm not talking about zombies. I'm talking about animals that have that are extinct. They're bringing them back from being extinct. The dire wolf is what they are currently concentrating on, and they've actually created dire wolf puppies.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So they've taken wolf DNA, dire wolf DNA, and combined it with modern wolves, and come up with a dire wolf, because that's basically what they are. Our wolves are basically based on the direwolf. All they needed to do is add the direwolf DNA and create the puppies, and you're going to get direwolves from now because they were always a mix.
Yeah, I want them to bring back woolly mammoths just so that we can eat them.
They brought back. They did bring back. What was it? A woolly gerbil or something like that.
There
Have you heard
go.
about that? They took
Yeah.
woolly mammoth. They took woolly mammoth DNA and checked it into a gerbil. They got a woolly gerbil.
I think the Flintstones had the right idea. We need woolly mammoth steaks. I think that needs to be.
Maybe it was a hamster. I don't know. They're basically the same thing, right?
I think they are the same thing. I think
Yeah.
scientists are playing a joke on us by pretending there's a difference.
I guess they're using CRISPR technology, I would assume, gene splicing.
Makes sense.
Like I could see it working with the wolves, but I'm not sure about things like the woolly, because it always comes down to animal welfare. It's like ligers and things like that. People will give keepers crap for that because it's animal abuse to create one.
Yeah.
But
Yes, I agree with Gunsky. I want my Brontosaurus burger. Make it happen.
and I get that too. Like I would absolutely love to see a woolly mammoth, but it's just whether or not they can do it without murdering a fucking elephant.
Yeah, you can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. You can't make a Brontosaurus burger without killing a few elephants. I'm fine with it.
You have to understand that they're taking parts from one and parts from something that's alive now. You have to have a host to start with. So with the direwolf situation, well, we have wolves. So we can add dire to the wolves we have and come up with a direwolf. But you can't create a dodo. There's nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing to mix the dodo DNA with to get a true dodo. You'll just get a mix. But wolves are already a mix. So that worked. And it's not like they couldn't do it, but what are you going to get? What are you going to mix that dodo DNA with? A chicken? Well, that's not a dodo. It's a dodo chicken.
Right. A dodikin.
Okay, I'm going to let that one go.
I'm now convinced we need to create the dodikin, and if they start a GoFundMe to raise money for the research, I'll donate.
The infamous dodikin.
Yeah.
So yeah, a viable. I mean, these puppies are growing up. They're viable. They're not, so their DNA is not so shattered as to make them sterile or anything like that. They are regular male puppies.
Okay.
So I think there's 3 of them. They created 2, then they created another one. I think I remember reading that correctly, that there's 3 of them. But they're in a 10-foot tall fencing structure, all compliant, as like you would see in a zoo, that whole 9 yards, with people walking around, people taking care of them, all that kind of stuff. No issues. They seem to be perfectly fine. So.
Okay. I would like to make a second request. In addition to the dodikin, we also need the dodurkey.
Dodurkey. I'm a little concerned that we're bringing back Dodo. I mean, it is on their list of things to do, but we didn't kill them. They expired from being stupid. Why would we want to bring stupid back? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to bring back something that was taken out by something else, not something that they were just too stupid to survive. Like if a panda's become extinct, let them be extinct. Because they're too stupid to survive.
The thing with the dodo is a lot of the reason they went extinct might have been a little bit of ignorance on our part, sure. But it's kind of what they were doing that they're trying to bring them back for. And
were we alive when dodos were around? Were there humans?
Yes.
Did they exist at the same time?
Yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we had something to do with it?
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's climate change.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Us just moving to a region and being, hey, dumb bird that's walking up to me and like my dogs and cats. It's actually more to do with our dogs and cats than necessarily us. Like from the records that they have, people did try eating them, but they weren't very tasty. Like what a bird eats is what they're going to taste like. But dogs and cats are kind of what took them out. but it's what they did is why they kind of might want to bring them back. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I actually think they should focus on the birds they actually have, because a lot of those are on the verge of being extinct. Why don't you focus on the ones that you have before you bring back other birds? Because the reasoning is they were seeders. Like they do a lot to repopulate certain plants. But
the brutal honesty is, I don't care if a species of animal goes extinct.
Yeah.
Like, survival of the fittest has existed since animals have existed.
Well, if the reason they're going extinct is for something that we could fix, like, you know, keep your dogs and cats from being wild.
Yeah, see, I don't even care about that. If you as a species lose to wild dogs and cats, then you are not suited to the environment that is filled with wild dogs and cats.
Yeah, but the wild dogs and cats weren't there first. We brought them with us and then let them loose.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter. The environment has changed, and so now you.
I'm okay with you being fined for it.
The environment has changed. If they do not change alongside the environment, they die out. That's just how it's always been.
Well, reading along with what Google has to say, the paragraph on the dodo is the dodo bird became extinct primarily due to human activities, including hunting, habitat destruction, and the introduction of invasive species like rats, cats, pigs, and monkeys, which preyed on the dodo eggs and chicks. So, yeah, if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be gone.
Right.
So we do have some kind of responsibility there.
Not really. I mean, we're responsible for the death of them, sure, but we don't have a responsibility to bring them back. We can if we want. I don't care. I'm just saying I don't think we should feel guilty for eating the dodo.
Well, I think getting over a mistake is also true. Like, yes, shit happened, but they currently have like 20 birds that are currently on the list of things that they should. If you care about birds anyway, take care of the ones you have. Like, if you think they have a value to your environment because they're seeders, then take care of your dogs and cats. Like, I love dogs and cats, so I don't want to blame them for every ailment that we have. But if adult humans aren't taking care of their pets, we have this thing called fines.
I think for me is I don't see humans as separate from nature. Like, humans are a part of nature. So if a species is unable to cohabitate with humans, then they are ill-suited for their environment and they die out. That's just...
There's another layer to that, though, because we're not just part of nature. We command nature. We decide nature. We can just wipe out things as we see fit. So I don't think we should feel guilty about what happened. But if I agree with you, if the scientists want to try to bring it back, hey, have at it. If nothing else, you're going to learn. You know, you could try 500 ways and not get what you want. Well, you've learned how not to do it.
Right.
So I don't have any problem with that. And I wouldn't say feel guilty, but you do have to understand we are responsible. You don't have to feel guilty about that responsibility, but we are responsible. So
yeah, you can acknowledge that we caused it. But, but like I said, I think we're part of nature. So if human activity results in the extinction of a species, then that is part of nature.
Then you're gonna face your own extinction, Terry, because a lot of the things that go extinct are the reason we eat food.
Yeah.
Sure. No,
if we kill all the bees, we're pretty much done.
Sure, but my point is that humans are part of nature. If human activity renders itself extinct because it kills everything it needs to survive, then it was not suited to the environment and it died from its own stupidity. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't want to die from my own stupidity, though. It's very hard. Trust me, I almost die from my stupidity every day. But
I don't want it to happen. But from a moral perspective, I don't see the extinction of humans. If humans are ill-suited to their environment because they're so bloodthirsty that they kill everything they need to survive, and like they don't moderate that in any way, then they deserve to be extinct. In the same way that the pandas deserve to be extinct because they don't know how to fuck each other.
They know how. They just don't like feminism.
They also probably don't quite like the way that China does it because they really do need their habitat to do what they need to do. And
Yeah.
China's like, no, we need to put up fake cities everywhere.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, human activity is part of nature, and the consequences of that are natural. So yeah, I don't have a problem if humans cause something to go extinct. I don't see it as any different from wolves making birds extinct. It's like, okay, well, the birds didn't survive in nature.
Well,
I guess it's because I
if
guess
the
it's
pan oh, sorry.
good, Jen.
Well, I was gonna joke, if the pandas go extinct, China can no longer use them to hold them hostage against all the rest of us. We're pretty privileged.
Yeah. The only difference between us and everybody else is the level of intelligence. We have the option, unlike other species where they can do nothing to prevent the destruction of another species. We do have the ability to, so that gives us a level of responsibility that the other animals don't have.
I don't think we have a responsibility to save other species of animal. I
think you have a responsibility to try not to kill all the other animals. That's probably.
I think from a self-serving perspective, we shouldn't want to kill all the other animals, because if you kill all the cows, then there's no more beef. Whereas if you kill enough of the cows to feed yourself, but leave plenty of them alive, then they can breed and make more food in the future. So I think just acting in self-interest should result in the preservation of a whole bunch of animals.
Yeah, it should. But granted that we're more intelligent than the average, I don't know, koala. I want to be topical here. That we also are not the masters of the universe either, and we can very easily step on something that's going to change. I think our future.
The masters of the universe, they were with He-Man.
Well, the other thing is like, I do understand where Terry's coming from. There's going to be people who think like Terry, but
what does that mean?
Well, it's like Terry's one of those farmers, who was really kind of mad that Alberta sent a bunch of fucking wolves to repopulate a certain area of North America, because they shot a bunch of them anyway. But the thing is the wolves were actually kind of necessary to the area. Like, they brought a bunch of life back because of how they work. It's one of those things where humans have to rework how we live with wildlife. And sometimes that takes a few people being like, okay, we're going to be the experimentalists and see if this works better so we can kind of coexist.
No, but I think China kind of proves the point of, like, they said, we're going to kill all the swallows. And it's like, okay, you have that power. You made that decision. And look, it wasn't a very good one, was it? And so if a particular subsect of humanity forces itself into starvation through its own idiocy, okay, that's fine.
Well, I just, I see so many times people talking about, well, you got to be careful you do this, or it has this downstream effect. And if you've ever seen the movie The Butterfly Effect, you know that making one little change.
It's not like I don't have sympathy for the farmers too. Like, the wolves did take out a couple sheep. They're wolves.
I think the farmers should shoot the wolves. If the wolves are a direct threat to their livelihood by eating all their livestock, then the farms absolutely should be able to shoot the wolves.
It's just I think there's a point where people learn to coexist, and either they do or they don't. And
no, I think ultimately I don't care if humans die out from their own stupidity. In the same way, I don't care if the pandas die out. I don't care that the dodos died out. Humans are a species of animal, and a very intelligent one, but ultimately our actions interact with nature and the environment in the same way that every other species does. If we cause some things to go extinct, fine. If we stop some things from going extinct because it serves our purposes, fine. Nature finds a way. Things will be fine in the end.
She call you Jeff.
I prefer Mr. Goldblum.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, but it does. Like, if if humans are so reckless and maniacal that they say cow tastes good, we kill all cow, then suddenly no more cow, you don't get to eat them anymore and you die. It's like, okay, well, you won't do that again, will you?
The idea that men are stupid, so we must talk as if we are Neanderthals to get a point across that we're dumb. Yeah. Now, you did Neanderthal. Who's going to do Cro-Magnon?
And Terry's saying that this is proof that I'm a robot. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that.
But hopefully we don't manage to find a way to kill ourselves.
I mean, hopefully not. I like being alive.
I hope people are prepared for the fact that these dire wolves might not look as pretty as the ones from Game of Thrones.
Probably
Have you seen
not.
the pictures of them?
They look cute. I've seen one. I can't find it again, but
they're fluffy white.
Yeah.
They look like huskies that are all white.
Yeah.
Well, I approve of the color. The color is approved.
Yeah.
It's just there's no guarantee that the face is going to be exactly like that. Like they're probably going to be pretty wolves, I'm not going to judge that. It's just
they have that German Shepherd look to them with a long snout and all that kind of stuff. So, but they it's a little bit smaller nose than a German Shepherd or a husky. It's a little bit thinner face. The difference between a crocodile and an alligator kind of deal. It's just a thinner
that's
snout.
what I was thinking because I pulled that from pictures of the skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you compare a dire wolf skeleton to like say a gray wolf, which I don't know if they're the same size at all. Like they do kind of stress that dyers were bigger, but like if you look at the facial structure, like the dire had a shorter nose, even in comparison to the gray wolf.
Yeah.
So
they don't have the fangs. They don't have the dire wolf fangs. They have normal dog fangs. So. So they don't look scary.
It's funny that like there's these minute differences between like crocodiles and alligators, and like
it's not minute at all.
They're like different snouts and different teeth is from what I understand is the main difference.
That's the obvious stuff. But there's weight and weight distribution and length are different. Crocodiles are flatter and wider and shorter. Crocodiles are longer, heavier. Yeah. So, I mean, there's things that you really can't see that are obvious unless you put them next to each other. And then you'll be like, oh, well, now I see what the difference is.
Okay. Because I thought it was basically just the snout and the teeth. Because that's
how obvious.
When everyone talks about the difference between alligators and crocodiles, that's the only thing they ever really mention is the teeth and the snout.
The other thing I'm looking for when they grow up, and I'm sure everyone's going to be looking for it too, is their chest. Because a lot of what they were saying about these kind of wolves is they were really kind of very stocky. Like they came from very big packs, but they were very stocky, which is that's not to belittle them. That actually means they're a tough dog. Like stocky means more muscle in the chest.
Right.
Yeah. Also means faster acceleration too. They're not going to run for a long period of time because they're too stocky for that. But they'll be the first ones at 60 miles per hour amongst everything else. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. It'll be. I'm excited. I like wolves. I always have. But
there's a guy who has a YouTube channel that he has a couple of wolves, and it's interesting. He'll sit down next to him and talk. And the entire time he's talking, they're growling in the background, showing teeth. Like any second, they're going to rip his head off. Right. But he treats them like they're not doing any of that. It's really strange. They're behind him going, behind him, and he's just petting them like they're just saying hi, no big deal.
Yeah, he's a brave man.
I would do it. That's crazy.
Me neither.
But I mean,
they have cute puppies.
I've never had that kind of dog. I've never had a shepherd or anything like that. The only dogs I ever had, well, geez, you have to go back to when I was just a little kid, like 7 or 8 years old. We had a boxer. It's not particularly powerful dog. It's obviously more powerful than a terrier or a dachshund or whatever, but it's not any comparison to a bulldog or a Rottweiler or anything like that. My mom did have Doberman Pinscher, but they get a lot of bad press. Doberman pinchers are not the dogs that you think they are.
Hmm.
They're them and the Rottweiler are like kind of like they're both equally as nasty, and that's not true at all. Rottweilers are
Right.
much worse than a Doberman is. Dobermans just
Fair.
look nasty.
Yes,
Rottweilers are nasty.
yes. When I was a kid, I had a red cattle dog. That was the dog I had back when I was like 8 years old.
Mhm.
Then after that dog ran away, my family only ever had cats after that. I don't think the two were related. I don't think the dog ran away, so Mum's like, okay, it's cats from now on. But it just so happened that the only pets we got from then on were cats.
Well, here's the question, and Jack can chime in on this too. If you were given the option to have a dog, and you could pick any dog you want, doesn't matter what kind of dog it is, and you got to pick one breed, and you didn't even have to take care of him. It was just the dog that was going to be with you, and someone else would take care of, or whatever. No draw against you to have that dog. You don't have to worry about where you're going to live and all that kind of stuff. But you're just here. What breed would you like? What would you
Hot
pick?
dog.
Sure.
Hot dog.
You really would want a dachshund, really?
No. I was just making a joke about
Yeah,
hot
I know.
dogs.
So was I. What would be the dog
Yeah.
that you would pick?
If it was myself, I grew up with labs, and I do like them, but I've kind of taken a liking to how talkative huskies fucking are.
Huskies will sing you the song of their people, man. They will just go on and on.
I find it charming that they have such character. Like, would it be you might end up arguing with the dog if it's a husky, but
They have a very expressive face.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of videos where someone will say something to their husky, and the husky will turn around and look at them like, what are you talking about? You know, you can just see it in their face that they're like inscrutable. What would you pick, Terry?
I don't know how good any of these dogs are as pets, but I think greyhounds look pretty cool. I think
They're
They're
legitimately the fastest dog, right?
Mhm.
Isn't
Yeah.
Greyhound the fastest dog?
I mean, in
I
Australia,
knew
we race them. Like
I
we
knew a
actually have
kid with
greyhound races.
I knew a kid with 2 of them, and both of them, they're very much the kind of dog that's particular to one person, but they're very shy. Like, they're a little
Yeah,
skittish.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know how good any particular breed of dog is as a pet, but I do think greyhounds just look cool. Like
Mhm.
I like the general shape of the greyhound in
Very,
terms of
very
dog aesthetic.
slimline,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is anybody replying to this in chat? Anybody pick a dog in chat?
Gunsky says he'd be happy to live with me. I'm not sure what the context of that is.
Hubert
Oh my.
said a Labrador, and
Yeah.
then Tears said a Mastiff.
Mastiff. Yeah.
That's a powerful dog.
Yes.
They're slobber hounds. Like, I think they're adorable for it, but like if you're eating in front of them, make sure you have a towel near you.
Good advice.
JB has a min pin.
And, yeah, JB has a miniature poodle.
Miniature poodle, that is.
Yeah.
I think I would probably go with a Cane Corso. I like a big dog.
Okay.
'Cause I'm a big guy, so I kind of like when I have a big dog too. I mean, a German Shepherd would do. Wouldn't want a Rottweiler, definitely not a pit bull. But I would like a large sized dog. Maybe a Mastiff is a little bit smaller, but yeah, that would probably be my choice because they're great guard dogs.
If I did go for a bulldog, there's 2 types I might go for. The classic English bulldog. I like how chunky they are. Like,
Everybody does. They're
the amount of
adorable.
meatballs I've met. They're
Meatballs.
But I've taken a liking to the staffies too. Like, they're between the expression and just how much they really do love their families when they love you. They're good family dogs. Like, you do have to watch out for a spur because they are a kind of pit bull, but no, like if you've got little kids, they just sit there and stare at your kids with love. Like, you're my favorite thing right now.
Yeah, Gunsky must have misheard something because he says I said something about a pug. I didn't mention pugs, but I'm trying to think what I said that sounded like that now. Oh, apparently people were just talking over me and he thought I said pug. No, I was saying that I like the aesthetic appeal of the greyhound is I like I said, I don't know how good any dogs are as pets, but in terms of like the visual design of a dog, I do like greyhounds. I like the sleek design of a greyhound.
Our Discord server has a category on it that is minions pets.
Hmm.
You get to see all the dogs and cats everybody has. Like Quiz has Jake,
Yes.
terrier. I think a terrier. I'm pretty sure a terrier. They post. There's a lot of posts from people who have pets. The last pet I ever had was a cat, Gracie. I think I've talked about her a couple times in the show.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I don't know if I ever could get another pet. It was just too heartbreaking when I lost her. So maybe now would be a good time because there's a good chance they'll outlive me.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind if I go first.
I mean, I couldn't get a pet. I mean, I could. Like, I own the unit, so there's no way they could prevent me from having him. But I don't have room for a pet. Like, I live in a fairly small. I guess you guys refer to them as apartments, but yeah, it's just there wouldn't be room for a pet in this place.
American Cocker Spaniel. That's a pretty dog.
Any kind of pet that you have to deal with in a small apartment, you have to find out if you can. Like a fish, it's about the tank. Like a fish is easy to care for, but it's about the tank. And a lot of places will say no to a tank because if a tank breaks, that's a hell of a lot of water damage.
Yeah, but like I own the place, so if there's water damage, I'm the one who has to pay for it.
But like it's one of those things. Like do you have the mentality of wanting to put in effort on caring for it? Because like you don't have to care for them every day. But
no, but my point is that even if I wanted a pet, I couldn't have one. There wouldn't be room.
Yeah. No worries. I'm just saying easy pets.
Yeah.
How many kitties do you have, Kiverdam? I think you have like 4.
I thought you said how many kidneys do you have, and I was very
oh my.
Hopefully only 2 of those. But
yeah,
Kiverdam posts a lot of content on shorts for her kitties.
Yeah.
So if you're not following her on X,
she does have a lot of cats, and they are very cute. Cats.
they're adorable. They're adorable. No matter how mad I get about what somebody's saying on Twitter and get into a fights and that kind of stuff, I see something like Kiverdam, I'm like, oh, I feel so much better now.
I do that with Kefki sometimes too, because she's got like a million ferret pictures.
Right. Tier says he has a pet bear. I don't know if he's joking.
Really?
But that is pretty crazy if it's true. And unless he means a gay guy, he could have a pet bear in the sense he's got a pet gay man with a lot of hair.
Some Tier's not telling us.
Maybe. I've always had my doubts about that guy.
Good.
Kiverdam has 3 cats, is what she said.
Yeah, I was going to ask her what the names of them are.
I know there's Petey. I know there's Clarice.
Remember Clarice?
Yeah. I can't remember the third one, but I'm sure Kiverdam will remind us. And apparently Opinionated Scotsman's cat died last summer.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Blue drew him a cat for it.
He's in kitty heaven.
Yeah. Last year was bad for pets, though. It was every other person I knew had a pet pass away. And I was like, okay, year of like pet deaths.
That's a rather unfortunate coincidence if they all died in the same year. That's rough.
Felt like it, you know?
Oh, okay. She has a pet cat named Bear.
Ah.
That makes sense. Allie, that's the one I forgot. Clarice, Allie, and PD.
There you go. Oh. Yeah, I think if I were to have a dog, I'd probably name him either Bear or Thor. Very masculine names.
If I had a dog, it would be named Deefa. Deefa dog.
So one of the things I've had joy with Discord, and I know you two don't necessarily do the Discord, but when I hang out with people with cats, SoundPad on Discord allows you to do things like play a cricket.
Yes.
Or a duck. And, you know, a cat comes into a room and you're like, oh, do they know that I could tell their cat's in the room? Oh, well, there's a cricket now. Have fun with that.
Yeah. I don't use Discord much. Basically, I use it to talk to Tier because he ignores me if I talk to him on Twitter. And I use it to stream with Adam because that's how he streams. And I use it to watch the movies with Frosted. But in all of those cases, I'm basically forced to use it because I have no alternative. If I had an alternative way of doing these things, it would not be through Discord.
I check it every day, sometimes several times a day, because anything that's going on with the channel itself, Minions of the Jew channel, like somebody's having some kind of technical issue or we got a strike or anything like that, I generally be the one to take care of it. So I make sure that I get on and check and make sure that there's nothing going on that requires me to help or do anything. So, and if I want to give somebody some guidance or listen to a problem or something like that, I'll say, let's just get on Discord, or I'll send them a link to this and talk to them. But yeah, I check it every day, sometimes several times a day, especially if something is going on, just to make sure I'm up to date on what the latest buzz is. So, but I don't sit there and talk like Minions. When Minions has like a meeting for like the hosts or something like that, we'll get on, we'll talk for half an hour, 45 minutes and get back off again. But I don't spend any time just sitting there talking to people. I don't have time for that.
Right.
I'm much better to just do something on Twitter and move on.
Discord serves a purpose. It's just not a purpose that I really need. Like everyone I want to talk to is on Twitter.
That's okay. I'll be the Discord queen.
So yeah, like if I want to talk to someone, I just DM them on Twitter. I don't really need Discord. There's no one apart from Tier that I have to message on Discord.
Yeah, so you and I are both Twitteraholics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's for me. I just find it like it's. I got so used to talking people on Messenger, on my phone, like people I know in real life. It just boom, gone. And I'm on to something else. I brought that with me to social media where I just tweet somebody, done, and I'm out. I don't have to. Well, it's difficult to use Discord on my phone. So whenever I use Discord, I use it on my computer, but I'm not always at my computer, so I don't use it as much. It's just there's reasons.
I am always at my computer, but I just drastically prefer Twitter to Discord.
Well, you also don't play that many games where Discord would be useful. Like that's why it makes sense for you to do it with Tier if you're playing a game together or something. But not everyone necessarily does that. I just I like Discord because it's just an easy way to talk to people from everywhere at the same time.
See, I'm kind of the opposite of Hammer. I much prefer typing to people than talking to them.
Yeah.
So like the voice chat on Discord I don't need, except for when I'm playing one specific game against Tier, it is too hard to play the game and type. So being able to talk to him is necessary. But like just a casual conversation, I am absolutely fine with just typing at each other.
There's reasons for my insanity though. It's difficult for me to type.
No. I'm not saying there's not. I'm saying that I'm the opposite of you. I prefer the opposite thing.
Well, I'm every bit the Twitter person that you are. I don't see where we're opposites. The only time I can see where we would be opposites is if it's going to be a long, extended discussion. I don't want to do that on Twitter because it takes a lot longer to type all that crap out when I can just get on StreamYards, talk for 5 minutes and get a half an hour's worth of stuff done.
Yeah. I'm just saying I prefer text as a communication medium just because I'm so used to it. Like the only time I talk to people is when I'm either streaming or calling my mom once a week, whereas I'm typing constantly. So I mean, it's just I've gotten so used to it. I don't really mind typing. I wouldn't want to type on my phone. That would be death. If I had to type on my phone, I'd be like, let's talk in person. That's anything but that.
Well, when I'm on Twitter, I'm on my phone.
Right. But if I'm at my keyboard, I would much rather type on the keyboard than talk in person if that's an option.
Yeah. I'm really for whatever uses the least amount of my time.
Yeah.
That sounds awful, but
No, it makes sense.
It's the smart thing. So,
but also, I mean, you've got your health issues that make it difficult to type for prolonged periods of time.
Yeah.
I can have a 2-hour conversation entirely through typing,
Yeah.
and it's not going to affect me because I don't have those health issues.
I wouldn't be able to use my hands after that. I would literally not be able to move my fingers. How is the music doing? Music poll?
Pretty clearly one-sided. There is one song.
Me and Jenny are laughing.
Yeah, one song that has over half, and then the rest of the votes are between the two of the other options. There's one option that has no votes at all.
Nobody wants to touch you.
I guess not.
Nobody wants to touch me there.
Yeah. The poll is lopsided enough. I don't think it's going to matter if I talk about it. I don't think there's any way Bad Reputation is not going to win the poll.
Well, it would be my choice to vote for, and I haven't voted yet. So,
because in my head, I Love Rock and Roll is Joan Jett's like biggest song. I didn't realize Bad Reputation was on the same level. Because for me, that's one of the songs that I really like. I Love Rock and Roll. What else has Joan Jett sung? And then you find like Bad Reputation and I Hate Myself for Loving You.
I was saying Bad Reputation because over here it's used an awful lot as a jingle for a lot of commercials.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a good song as it is, but like it's such a recognizable song that like a few seconds into like a soda commercial and you're like, yeah, okay.
The only thing I could say is the other 3 songs have a much slower tempo.
Right. And Red Feather says today's phone keyboards aren't as bad as the old ones. We had to push the same button several times to get the letter you wanted. If I had to type like that on my phone, I would not have a phone.
See, for me,
that sounds like torture.
For me, it's the part where dyslexia doesn't give a shit about my feelings, and sometimes it's a spelling error, and sometimes it's just, I
do think it is an improvement to have an actual like touchscreen keyboard on the phone, as opposed to, hit the 2 button twice if you want the letter B. That was brutal. I don't know how anybody used that nonsense.
Yeah, I used to have a Razor flip phone, and that's how you used to have to type.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad that is dead and never coming back. That was terrible. But just in general, I guess it's because I've got a very small phone. I find it just clunky to like try and type on a tiny little keyboard at the bottom of my phone. When I've got like a full-size keyboard, I can just type on that instead. Red Feather says she likes Weird Al's I Love Rocky Road. I think that was like one of the very first songs he ever did. Like that's way, way early in his career. I think it's like if
are you calling us old here, Terry?
It's either I Love Rocky Road or Another One Rides the Bus. Like one of those two was like his first song ever, and like that's how long ago those songs came in. Like the first thing he ever wrote was like either I Love Rocky Road or Another One Rides the Bus.
I am not looking up how old that is. I refuse.
Yes. Well, Weird Al's been around for a very long time.
I know, that's why I refuse. I don't want to. It's been one of those weeks where, like, every other day, somebody's like reminding me of how old something is, and I'm like, stop doing that.
Well, I know. The first Weird Al song I ever heard was "Fat," and I was a big Michael Jackson fan as a kid. So when I saw him doing like the joke version of "Bad," and it's like "Fat," I thought that was the best thing ever. So I really liked Weird Al after that.
Yeah.
And like that was in the 80s. So I imagine that I Love Rocky Road would have been in the 70s.
Oh God. Older than me.
That's for sure. Yeah. I was born in 1980. So I'm almost certain that it's older than I am.
What was the one
My Bologna. That's it. My Bologna was his first ever song. So,
what was the one he did for Star Wars?
Oh, the American Pie.
Yeah.
One, yeah.
Long, long
My
time
Mr.
ago,
Anakin guy. Maybe
in a
they-
galaxy far away.
Yeah. The saga continues, something like that. I think
Yeah.
that's the proper name of his.
I think you're right. I think it's the saga continues. That was pretty funny. Well,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
well done.
I think they actually gave him like information about what the movies were going to be about, so he could incorporate that into
You're
a
right.
song. Yeah. So Red Feather says "My Bologna" was his first ever song. Yes, that's right. That like I don't know my Weird Al history, but another one right at the top was 1983. There you go. People are looking up.
Yep.
81. Red Feather thinks. Okay, not as old as I thought, but still very old.
So it looks like it was written in 1979, but they
There you
released
go.
it
That
in
makes sense.
1982.
Okay.
I'm like, that's the year's my birth.
Very funny guy. I do like Weird Al.
I think I actually have that song somewhere in my hard drive.
I also really like the Weird Al birthday card that I randomly discovered. I think he shared it on Twitter, where you can go to American Greetings and like it's like a personalized voice card, or a video card. So you send someone the birthday card and it just plays a video where Weird Al wishes them a happy birthday. And
pretty fly for a rabbi.
Yeah.
Smells like Nirvana. It is called The Saga Begins. That's the name of that.
Begins. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this greeting card is like you enter the person's name and their age, and then he will sing a birthday song, and he'll sing their name and their age. It's like he just recorded like 1,000, well, not 1,000, like 100 different names and 100 different ages, and so yeah, they're just sort of like you enter, like Jen, and it'll like he'll sing the word Jen as part of his birthday song. It's really cool.
He did 2 Star Wars ones. He did I Think I'm a Clone Now, right?
He did.
Yeah, and then Amish Paradise.
I
have all of these. If we ever get to W's, we can probably do Weird Al.
Oh yeah, Weird Al. The problem would be narrowing it down to 4 songs.
Yeah.
But for most of these bands, it's how the hell are we going to find 4 good songs by this artist? Weird Al is like, there's like 50. How do I narrow it down to 4?
Not only that, but they're all songs based on other songs. So when you play them without the vocals,
yeah,
you're basically playing the song because that is a song,
That was actually one of my favorite jokes on an Australian music show, like a quiz show. The idea was they would play the tune without the lyrics, and you had to identify the song.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone buzzed in and said, "Like a Surgeon, Weird Al Yankovic." And he's like, technically, I've got to give that to you.
Oh, did he? He gave it to them? Because it's technically the same song. But he's not making exact duplicates. They're close, but they're not quite the same.
I mean, he mostly just changes the lyrics. He doesn't change the...
Yeah. Well, the melody is the same, but it's not... The orchestration is usually a little different. I guess he can't get close like they can because he's not using the same exact instruments that they're using. So it's going to sound a little different when he does it.
But yeah, no, I also think it's very impressive. If you happen to know what the music video for the original song was, and then you watch the Weird Al version, it's very, very impressive how closely he matches the original music video. Like I've seen them, they play the Weird Al version and the original side by side, and you're like, holy shit, he really did a lot of work to like scene by scene, beat for beat, replicate this music video with obvious changes to make it funnier.
Right.
But like he copies very closely the original music video as well as the tune. So very impressive.
I have music that says it's by him. There's a song called Gump. Did he do a song called Gump?
He did.
Okay. The 12 Pains of Christmas. Did he do that?
I don't know if that was him, but I've definitely heard the song.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. He did a song called Jurassic Park.
I don't remember that one, but I mean, maybe.
He did. I guess this is from Lola. He did Yoda.
Yes, that he definitely did do.
I have these songs. I've never listened to them. You Don't Love Me
Uh,
Anymore. He did a song called You Don't Love Me Anymore.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Oh, I know he did this one with a real Slim Shady. Please shut the fuck up.
Yes. I think he had a song. Please don't pirate this song or something like that. There's another one he had. And he's singing about how if you pirate the song, this record executive won't be able to buy his third yacht, and like basically making fun of the idea that you shouldn't pirate. No, he had a ton of really good stuff.
The other 3 topics for tonight, Jazzy. I'll just go over what they are. Jazzy is
DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith. They're finally back together. I'm sure that's what you're about to tell us.
That's the latest news, breaking news.
Sure.
Representative Jasmine Crockett, Democrat, Texas, calls Trump a motherfucker.
Yeah, there you go. Very
classy.
Very classy.
Very classy. They have THUR insult her for us because I'm white and I'm not allowed to do that.
THUR is saying, don't download this song. That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, THUR.
The CBP app that they use for illegal immigrants coming across the southern border has been rewritten. So now it allows people coming in who are illegal or are already here illegal the option for self-deporting.
Nice.
Same app. And now it allows the ability for you to go the other way to get out of town.
Yes.
So, and then finally, the one that I didn't include originally that I came up with last minute, Spike.
So Tom and Jerry, the bulldog has finally gotten his own show.
Like, I thought it's no longer a TV channel anymore. Now they have a YouTube channel. The stock market. I'm watching too much Marvel movie. The stock market shoots up 3,000 points after Trump puts a temporary pause on tariffs for everybody except China.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, he's not letting China off the hook. I think he's saying, okay, everyone else can wait. Let me take care of China first.
But that's what V was saying he should have done to begin with, was instead of declaring war with the entire world the way he did with the tariffs, pick a target, in this case China, beat China, and then you can say, by the way, Canada, now that we've dealt with our China problem, you are becoming our 51st state. Let's talk about it.
So I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear through somebody else's opinion that the reasoning behind why Trump might have done that was to try to give China enough time to think that somehow they were getting nothing, and that had them spending more. And then he just pulled the rug out under them.
I think now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure how much I benefit, but my financial advisor was worried about the tariffs and was saying that we should reduce my investment in foreign shares. And then she called back like 2 days later saying, with things being this volatile, we want to hold off on selling those assets. And it's like, so if the stock market just massively spiked, I wonder if I benefited from that, at least a little bit.
If she sold before Trump,
She did.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if she sold before the stock market jumped, or before it went down, and then she bought this morning when just before the stock market gone up, you would have made a killing. It's all about timing.
Well, the thing is, she wanted to reduce my investment in foreign shares because of the tariffs and things were looking pretty bad. And then she called me back like 2 days later saying, we actually want to hold off on selling the assets. Just things are too volatile at the moment. So she didn't buy anything or sell anything. She just like, let's just like wait and see what the hell's going on before we make any changes.
Well, my real life best friend is definitely into stocks and stuff like that. He's not exactly a tycoon or anything like that, but he has an investment portfolio. It's pretty reasonable. And he was talking to me about this. He's like, what the hell? He's a lefty. We're best friends, and he's a lefty. He's like, what the fuck's Trump doing? I was like, listen, I know the stock market's going down. I know it's beating you up pretty good. Just stay in, you'll be fine. I said, right now, it's unrealized deficit. As long as you don't trade away, it's not realized. It'll bounce back, and then you'll be even, and nothing happened.
Yep.
You know, you'll be just where you were before. And sure enough, he sends me a text message. He didn't call me, send me a text message before we went live saying, I guess you're right. I was like, yes.
No, I mean, that's why they're long-term investments. As long as you don't sell,
you don't lose.
Any money that you lose, you haven't actually lost unless it hits zero.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't care about rich people losing their money. You know,
No,
my personal perspective on it. If you play the stock market and you get burnt, well, too bad about you.
It's gambling. If you gamble and lose, then sucks to be you.
Yeah.
If you gamble and win, hey, good on you.
Yeah. Instead of them blaming themselves for what they've chosen to do and the poor way they've gone about it, instead they're going to blame him like it's his fault. That's not his fault.
Yeah, no,
You're the one who picked the wrong things to invest in. You should be investing in Bitcoin. You can't hurt that. So
I don't know anything about Bitcoin. I know there's people who very, very actively endorse it and say, you know, it's.
If you got in on the ground floor of Bitcoin, you are a multimillionaire right now.
True. But Tim Pool was also making the point that if you got in there on the ground floor, you probably sold it as well.
Maybe.
Well, no, because he's saying he bought Bitcoin when it was like 2 cents, and then he sold it when it was like $2 because, hey, he's made a bunch of money. Why would, like, if you held on to it, then yeah, absolutely, you're a multi-billionaire. But most people would be like, hey, let's cash in. We've made a fortune. Let's realize our gains. Let's.
Feather says, I understand why people are apprehensive about Trump. He is sloppy. And what I would say to that is yes and no. He's sloppy because he's moving too fast.
Yeah.
If he were to pedal it back. But you have to understand where Trump's coming from. He has 4 years, and only 2 of those years are going to be productive. So he has to get everything he wants to get done in 2 years, and he has a lot to get done. So he's going to push the pedal all the way down and go as fast as he possibly can. And he's going to make mistakes. But most people will say, if your intentions are to do something good and you make a mistake that you can correct only because of impatience, most people will allow that. I'm going way too fast. I'm going to make mistakes, and especially if you're up front. This is why I think why Elon and Trump get along so well together. I didn't want to get too much into a political thing here, but you know how much I try to avoid that. But I think that's why Elon has the same perspective on things. He's like, I'm going to send up this rocket. It's going to blow up, and I know it's going to blow up, and I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to send another one up tomorrow. Fuck it. You know, I don't have time to wait. I'm going to just keep sending up fucking rockets until I get it right. You know, and Trump is kind of that same mold.
You don't learn nearly as much from your successes as you do from your failures.
Exactly.
That's common sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, if I had money in the stock market, I'd be pissed too. During the process where it was going down, I'd be pissed then. But I think I have more confidence in Trump than most people do. So I'd be like, I'm not worried. He's going to turn it around. I'm not worried.
You see, like, even beyond that, I was like, because I'm seeing it as a long-term investment, if the shares go down, it's like, okay, they're going down, they'll go back up. They always do.
Yeah.
Like,
the market will correct.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Like, I don't invest in the market, but I do watch it.
Yeah. I'm not worried. It's like, I don't really have like immediate cash flow concerns. So if my share investment goes down, like, just wait, it'll go back up. As long as I don't sell anything, the losses aren't real.
Right. A lot of people don't understand that. All those people were complaining and all upset and all that kind of stuff. They were unjustified in one day. Bang, 3,000 points. They're square. All that time of them yelling and screaming, and now they're square, and they have nothing to yell and scream about. It's back up to where it was before.
Yeah.
So you just got all upset and all for no reason at all.
Yeah.
You just look stupid.
You need to take a long-term view when it comes to these things. Unless you're one of those really crazy people who's like day trading, is like buying and selling constantly throughout the day. Like you can do that, but most sensible people who invest in shares is like, okay, let's just leave it there, and it doesn't actually go up or down in value in a real sense until I sell it.
Yeah,
well, unless you're owning Disney shares, in which case you're sitting there crying a lot.
Yeah. Sure, but
Kidding.
well, no, but you should invest all your money into a single company. Like if you've got $100,000 and you've invested only in Disney, then yes, you are panicking at the moment. If you've done the non-stupid thing and you've invested in like a wide variety of different companies, then okay, sure, Disney's taking a shit at the moment, but this other company's doing well. Let's balance out.
Yeah, that's did the version of Snow White that the Daily Wire did it ever get released, or has that
I
not
never
yet?
heard anything about it.
Outside of their site, no.
Oh yeah. It was only ever going to be on Daily Wire, so you had to be paid.
I'm sure it's out in the world under the banner of the Skull and Bones, right?
Yeah. I'm sure you can get a copy of it. I'm just saying that I don't know if it ever came out, but it was only ever intended to be released on the.
I thought it was going to be in theaters. It was not going to be in theaters.
I don't think so. I mean,
What
maybe
is a Woman?
it was.
What is a Woman was in theaters, wasn't it?
Don't know.
No, either.
But my understanding was that most of the Daily Wire productions are only for the Daily Wire platform.
I thought they put it on the Daily Wire platform for a period of time. Then after that, they released it in the theater. Maybe vice versa. I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
They did do a movie called Run, Hide, something. I can't remember the name of it. There's something like Run, Hide.
They made a lot of movies, actually.
It was a school shooter movie that they did.
Okay.
Daily Wire did.
No, they have made quite a lot of movies. I was surprised when I went to IMDb to check like Daily Wire movies, and it's like, oh wow, it's actually quite a decent amount.
Let me see if I can find the name of it. I'll just check my movies. Blade Runner, Cool Runnings, Logan's Run, Midnight Run, Run, Hide, Fight is the name of the movie, released in 2020. That was the one I was thinking of.
Then again,
searching on the word run was a mistake, by the way. 37 hits.
We do need to wrap up pretty soon, though. We have gone over the.
Yeah, it's 10:04. Well, you guys probably don't have anything, right? We're done for the night.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I guess we should get out of here then. Where's the music at? Oh, it was
Bad Reputation.
Bad Reputation. Yeah.
Sorry, Terry.
No. I like all 4 songs. I'm fine.
All right. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday show, remember, the Minions are live every evening, except Tuesdays, with most shows starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Host and start times are linked in the description down below. Don't forget about the Rumble pre-show, where we have all the really cool things happening. That stream will start generally a half an hour before YouTube, around 8:30. Sometimes earlier. I think it was like 10 after 8 today. We will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Not really a great song if you think about. It's very repetitive. It's great if she's singing, but if she's not singing, it's kind of repetitive.
That's true of all her songs.
Yeah.
The music itself is very basic, but I mean, her singing is what sells it. It's I should probably go get food. It is lunchtime.
All right.
So I will see you guys later.
I'll
All right.
see you guys later.
See ya.
Have
ya.
a good one.